Hello and welcome to this video presentation, which is a presentation on a data science project, an end-to-end data science project that is aimed at exploring a data set that is called Coffee Sales dataset. And upon exploring this dataset, we are going to have some data science insights of the dataset and better understanding and informed decision on the dataset to help improve the performance of the coffee shop from which the dataset was extracted. So without wasting much time, I just want to show the dataset itself. Just on the background, as you can see, this is the dataset. It is a coffee sales data set that is in a CSV file. As you can see, this is the CSV file, comma separated values. So in this particular project, I developed this project and I did an interactive dashboard as well as a Python uh, analysis using uh, the Python libraries like pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, and NumPy. So I will want to begin by showing the interactive dashboard built in Power BI. Then I will come back and show the Python IPNBI, the project that is built in Python. So right away, this is now the Python, this is now the Power BI project uh, dashboard, the interactive dashboard of the project itself. As you can see, this is now the heading. This one now is the heading. It is a coffee sales uh, analysis dashboard of the dataset that we had. So first of all, at the top right here, at the top left here of this particular uh, area here, I used this card to bring a summary of bring the summary of total sales of the data set. You know, the data set has columns of cash type, coffee name, date, hour of day, money, month name, month sort, time of day, weekday, and weekday sort. So based on the money column, I was able to aggregate it into sum of the sales. So then we had a total sales here now. This particular column, this was a new column that was created here in Power BI in order to build this card here that brings the summary of total sales. Then we have this particular KPI. This is key performance indicator. It also is also a visualization of total sales by date. According to each date, we have the total sales. So this is, you can see this particular figure here. It is in dollars, of course. Then I built another particular visualization. This one here is the stacked bar chart. Yeah, this stacked bar chart is total sales by coffee name. This is just to bring a presentation and a clear view of the which particular coffee type drives more sale. Like you can see, we have latte here, which produces a lot of sales. Then we have Americano with milk, then cappuccino, Americano, hot chocolate, and we have cocoa. All this here, espresso. So these are the type of coffees that and their performance across with the sales that we recorded in this particular data set. Then we have this line chart here. That's total sales by month sort. This is now to help us visualize and reveal. It reveals the seasonality or the effect of seasons on the sales of the coffee. Like we can see here, the month it varies. We can see the peak sales at which month there's a peak sales, and at which month there's a drop in the sales. Here we in the month of April, you can see there's a significant drop. This could easily tell that maybe it's in summer when the temperatures are too high and the sales are dropping. This peak here means that people are buying coffee very much. It could be in a in a rainy season or in a season that is so cold and people are running for coffee. Another a key important visualization that I did here is total sales by cash type. How does the customers buy the coffee? What do they use? What mechanism do they use to buy? Is it cash? Is it a card? Is it just through internet purchasing? Like we have the different kinds of UPI payments, or is it just cash? So this particular here shows that the type of payment is cash. This store is synonymously is this store is uniquely very unique that it accepts only cash payments. This is quite amazing. The next thing here is another visualization, another car, another another chart that is the table to now richly bring at par the performance of each and every coffee type. Is now it's a build up. It is actually a build up of the previous this particular previous chart of stacked bar chart. So it tries to reveal in numbers, not just by bars, but in numbers, how each particular coffee performs. You can see, but now the total sales here is 112K to 45.58. So you see how the performance of each coffee name is now literally rated in terms of numbers. That's the importance of having this table chart, and now it reveals surely it reveals in great details the performance, the sales of each particular category or particular type of the coffee that the store has for the people. Next visualization that I do. Actually, I've just finished with the visualizations, but I wanted to say that this is a very interactive dashboard. You can see if we want to now just check about only one particular type of the coffee, that is latte, you can see now that it changes here every every other figures changes here, like how it performed, like now total sales, monthly sales, you see here. If what about Americano with milk? See how it performs here by month. What about cappuccino? See its performance. Yeah, this is a very interactive dashboard. When we click on any of this particular type of coffee, then we see the total sales here. We see how the test per date, how it changes. We see how it changes here, how it changes here, how it changes here, and how it changes here at this particular table here. So what about, let me just go to Cocoa. You see also total sales, how different here. This is absolutely very amazing. How really this particular uh, interactive dashboard is. It gives a real time visualization of each particular coffee performance. This is very important because from this we are able to optimize and have a targeting marketing strategy, because now we understand which type of coffee drives more customers. So after this particular visualization by Power BI, this interactive dashboard, I just now want to shift to the Python now, the Python the Python analysis now, and now I want to show you the real analysis using Python. And now this project summary, uh, this project analysis analyzes coffee sales data to uncover patterns in customer behavior and business performance, just as I had said earlier. And now the key steps include data cleaning and preparation, exploratory data analysis, product performance analysis by identifying top performing coffee types, as we had seen there in that visualization of Power BI, and so on. So the problem statement, how can we transform raw sales records into actionable business insights that help the coffee shop optimize operations, marketing, and revenue? So the main importance of this particular project is for us to optimize business insights, to optimize operations, by having informed business insights, business information, by making business uh, by by having business insights from the raw data, then it will help us to make informed decisions so that we can optimize the operations and the marketing strategy, which will eventually lead to revenue generation and profit. So I start here by importing the necessary libraries of the Python. I import the necessary libraries here. Allow this to run. It will take much seconds than I expected. I think I did run it earlier before, but I think I've run all the cells. Once this is run, I as I imported all the necessary libraries, then I will run other cells together at once that we may have a second time, and then we may have a smoother experience altogether. Taking much more time than expected, but as we continue to see it, so the next thing is that we load the data. The data is actually in this particular this particular directory. So I use the pandas uh, pd.read CSV method to read or to import the data into the working memory here, so that you can now be able to manipulate the data. You may be able to understand and get insights from the data. You may get to visualize the data. I can see the importation has been done successfully. So the next thing I do after importing the data, then I get a quick view of the data using the head method of pandas. Uh, so get to see that this particular data set has a bunch of columns here. That is hour of day, cash type, money, coffee name, time of day, weekday, month name, weekday sort, month sort, date, and time. The next thing I do is to find the shape of this particular data to help us understand how many rows and how many columns we have. It has 11 columns and 3,547 entries. That is the rows inside these columns. The next thing we do is overview of the data. We want to understand the data very well, so we use info method of the pandas library, and then we get to understand which particular rows are null, what are the missing values, what are the data type of this particular each and every column. So hour of day is an integer, cash type is an object, that's money is an float, coffee name is an object, time of day is an object. This object literally means string. Then the other one is here we have that is a integer date object. It will be date time. We collect that in the data um, processing before we begin. So just as we have seen this, the overview of the data set. The next thing is to perform data visualizations and storytelling. So this particular step of the data analysis is very, very interesting, because from here will be able to to visualize the data. You'll be able to draw some very interesting visualizations and plottings that are very, very insightful. From there, you're able to understand and get a lot of insights from this particular data set, raw data set. So what I promised is to convert the column the date column that was in string to date time. And now here, so that it will be helpful for us when we are plotting a time series data, doing time series analysis. The next thing here is to aggregate daily revenue. So it is in money. We have money a column. So we want to aggregate it so that we may have the total sum of the sales. Okay. So that's what we do here by this code. The next thing is now to do a plotting of daily sales trend over time. So over the data set, all the time period that the data set actually has. So we are gonna try to draw or to visualize. This is now called the time series analysis, the performance of daily sales over time. So it able to tell us some insights of like customer behavior, like how many times does the customer buy, and then it also reveals to us the revenue or the performance of the Coffe, the sales, So this is very important. You can see here date from 2024 March to 2025 March. This is actually a data set of across 1 year. You see how each day at the end of this, you can see these dots at the end. Typically, it reveals the performance per day, daily sales. So you can see how some days are lower, some days are higher, some days are lower, some days are higher. From this point, you can get to understand how sales spike over time. The next thing is to draw a bar chart of hourly distribution of sales. How does the sales perform when plotted in a hourly way? you know, Total sales per hour. So hour of the day, when is the sales very high? At what time is the sale very? This is very important because it will reveals to us the peak hours of a day, so that we can able to optimize on the staffings, and also so that they may be able to start to serve the customers very well. So it's like you can say some parts of the day, like midnight to actually around 5 to 6 a.m. There's no much sales. Maybe this time people are asleep. So the sales begin to skyrocket from 8 a.m. all through 10 a.m. is the peak, as you can see with this visualization. 10 a.m. is the peak sale hour. So this requires a lot of efforts on the sales on the sales people, so that they can manage that crowd to serve the people, the customers. Yeah, the next thing I do is now to do a visualization of days of week sales analysis. So day of week and total sales. How does each day of the week performance appear? Or how, on which day is there a lot of sales than compared to another day? So we get to understand that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, then we see that from this visualization that on Tuesday, is almost appears as the peak day for sales. Monday as well is also very high, but Tuesday is more high than Monday. We can also see on Fridays at least a bit high. It may reveal some insights like just from the weekend, people are drinking a lot of coffee from the weekend. You can see here Monday, Tuesday. But overall, the days of the week are promising because you can see there is a very average taking of coffee, and the sales are very, very impressive here. The next thing I do is monthly sales analysis. From this particular visualization, as you can see, we are performing a sales analysis on how each month's performance is. Let me just run the other cells I did run up here so that we may have a significant. You can see here, if we fail to run the other ones, I did run, okay, I didn't run this so that I may run the next one. Now it will work now. Right. So this is now the monthly sales analysis. The visualization is very clear here. How each month's performance is. Just wait for the graph to appear. Seems taking much time. Well, yeah, there we are. So you see and understand how every month affects the coffee sales. Like now you can see in January, there's a significant decline in the sales, but March is a peak sales. You can see also October. I think we also we saw this using the from Power BI dashboard there. We were able to depict this, and it is very synonymous. I think, yeah, because of winter or maybe, yeah. Then the next thing is to do is now to try to find out the top selling coffee products. So the goal is to identify which coffee type drives the most revenue. When when we are able to find which type drives the most revenue, then we are able to do targeting sales. We are able to also promote the the performing coffee type, as well as also identify those type of coffees that are not liked by the customers, so that we can improve them by selling them in using some strategies to sell them, like promotion, you know, like trying to to make them understand, the customers understand that this type of coffee is also better, you know, and making it to be friendly to our past, yeah, maybe reducing the price, something like that. So the top selling coffee products, we also visualize it there in Power BI, latte, Americano with milk, cappuccino. This lecture looks like the stacked batch that we do there in at Power BI. So the next visualization we do is now to visualize the payment method. We also got it that it was card. It is here 100% card. The sales records here records that the customers, they use their card for purchasing of coffee. I think there's a need for change, there's a need for diversity and inclusivity to even include cash payment, also to include online payment like UPI, and also M-Pesa for payments. The next thing I do is sales by time of day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So this is a category to try to categorize at what time of the day, based on category like morning, afternoon, night, is the best, the sales actually. So we get to understand that in the afternoon, there is a lot of sales compared to all the other time of the day. Why? It could mean that people love to take coffee in the afternoon. Maybe in the morning, they're just taking their breakfast in their homes. So in the afternoon, this maybe they're working people, some professional people in town that are, well, they afternoon they have a break after having a long morning of work. Now afternoon they have a break to look for coffee, maybe to help them extend their day and productivity along that day. The next chart I do is to have a heat map of the entire uh, sales, so that I may able to understand weekdays, correlation between the weekdays and hour of the day and the total sales, hour of day, weekday, and the sales, how the weekdays affect, how the weekdays and hour of the day correlate based on the number of sales or the total sales. So we can get to understand this here, heat map here. You can see some days, some days of the week, the sales are high, are peaked at 10, like on Sunday. The peak sale is at 10 a.m. Like on Monday, the peak sale is at 10 a.m. On Tuesday, the peak sale you can see here is at 7 a.m., 7 p.m. I mean. So this is actually this particular heat map is very informative about the hour of the day, the weekday, and the sales at each of those particular time. Yes, run it so that so this particular chart shows bright spots where sales spikes. It reveals coffee rush times. It helps optimize staff schedules and promotions at exact times. Yeah, it enables exact timing. When we have this knowledge that on Sunday, exactly 10 a.m., people will be rushing to the coffee shop. Then at that time we will be able to bring more staff to be able to serve them. Then if we have this knowledge that on a Monday at 10 a.m. people will be rushing to take coffee, at that point we know that we will need more staff to serve them. So this is a very important visualization. It helps us understand and helps us to have to optimize staff schedules and promotions at exact times. What you can promote to the customers at exact time. That's the best part of this particular heat map. So what are the business recommendations of this analysis? After I've performed this exploratory data analysis, a data science workflow project. So what are the business recommendations? One thing that this coffee shop should be able to do is that it should focus on strengthening its best sellers, like optimizing pricing for premium items, running targeted promotions during week sales period, and aligning operations with time-based demand trends. Like we have seen the time-based demand trends. On Tuesday, there is at 11 a.m. there's a high demand of coffee, and also at 10 at 9, I mean at 7 p.m. On Saturday, you can see that here only at 11 a.m. there's a high demand. On Friday, at from beginning from 8 to 9, there's a high demand. So based on this particular knowledge, then they can be able to align operations based on this time. All right. So the next thing again that I recommend to this business coffee shop, this coffee seller, I recommend that top selling coffee types like latte, cappuccino, americano, americano with milk, hot chocolate should remain the focus. They should focus on that because it means that the natives there, they love them. So it draws a lot of revenue. Then another thing I would recommend is that the low selling products should be reviewed for promotions, like bundling with popular items. So like the unpopular coffee types like cocoa, you see, they're not much more, they are much not very popular. Like espresso, they're not very much popular. So what you can do is to perform promotion for them so that they can at least also try to draw sales. Another thing I will do is introduce seasonal flavors to boost sales in months with lower revenue. The months with lower revenue, let me just go back to that and see the months that have a lower revenue. This particular visualization here, we'll be able to understand and get to know that what can we do on this month, like April, what can we do there? So anyway, network is just not responding. But you can see, after you see there's a drop in sales, what can we do at this particular month? The best thing to do is to perform a promotion, you know, so that so that the months are poorly in sale, we add boost flavors to boost the sales. One thing I also do, I recommend is pricing and promotions, promote bulk purchases, e.g., buy one, get one free. This will enable people to buy a lot of coffee with some snacks to increase average basket size. Another thing I do is time-based strategy, day of week insight, like weekdays dominate sales, launch weekend offers to balance traffic. Like, in the weekdays, there's a lot of sales because I try to imagine that this is a place where it is a coffee's place where it's in a town. Maybe people they're working at just were working professionals. They take coffee in during the lunch break. So during the weekends, maybe they are not reporting to job. That is why there's a drop of sale in the weekends. So one thing I can do in the weekends is now to promote, like, like you can now do it, promote weekends by balancing it. So you try to say that on the weekends I can drop some prices a little bit so that people can they can just come to the shop and buy. Another thing to do is payment strategy. You can know so that predominantly it is the card. We can now try to reduce other payment methods like UPI, cash, and Pesa, to enable seamless and faster payments at the coffee shop. Another thing is to use operational efficiency, like align staff shifts with peak hours. Last, I had also said it was a good insight that we understand from this particular data set. So that is the most intriguing and the analysis of this data set and the final understanding of it and what I have drawn from this particular data set. And now and also the business recommendation on the data set. So this is the end-to-end project that I have had to share. It is very insightful and very easy to understand from all the Power BI and to Python documentation. It was very wonderful. So this is my project, and I'm happy to have taken it. Thank you so much for staying with me. Hopefully meet next video. Thank you.